Let's open the master file. Pull up the psychological profiles of every hero you've ever cheered for, every anti-hero you've secretly admired, and every villain who has ever haunted your nightmares. Today, we aren't just looking at a single story, a single movie, or a single video game. We are looking at the foundational architecture of the fictional soul. Have you ever stopped to wonder why certain characters clash? Why heroes who ostensibly want to save the same world inevitably end up fighting each other? Think of Captain America and Iron Man tearing each other apart in Siberia. Or why villains who want to conquer the universe inevitably betray one another before the final battle? The answer isn't a disagreement over power. It isn't a dispute over money or resources. It is the fundamental alignment of their very existence. Welcome back to the evidence room. I am the lore inspector. Let's examine the board. Exhibit A, the alignment chart. Originally conceived decades ago as a mere rulebook mechanic for the tabletop role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons, this 3x3 matrix has evolved. It has escaped its origins to become the ultimate psychological blueprint for modern storytelling. Writers use it, psychologists analyze it, and we are going to dissect it. Two axes, law versus chaos, good versus evil. 9 possible combinations that dictate every decision a character will ever make. Let's define our parameters before we interrogate the suspects. The vertical axis represents morality, good and evil. Now, what does good actually mean in fiction? It means altruism. It means putting the needs, the safety, and the happiness of others before your own, even at your own peril. Evil, on the other hand, is ultimate narcissism. It means putting yourself before others, no matter the cost to the world. It is the willingness to consume others to fuel your own desires. But the horizontal axis, that is where the true drama lies. That is ethics. Law versus chaos. The method to the madness. Law means you believe in systems, codes, tradition, authority, and order. You believe society cannot function without a structure. Chaos means you believe in absolute freedom, rebellion, individualism, and unpredictability. You believe that systems are just cages designed to trap the spirit. Let's break down the 9 suspects, file by file, starting with the path of light. Category 1, lawful good. The Crusaders, the Paladins. Look at the classic file on Superman. A literal god who could crush the planet with his bare hands, who could solve every geopolitical conflict by simply forcing his will upon the earth. Yet, he bows to the fragile laws of humanity. Why? Because he believes that without rules, there is no true justice. There is only tyranny disguised as benevolence. He is the ultimate shield of the system. But lawful good is often the most tragic alignment, because their faith in the system is their greatest vulnerability. Look at Eddard Stark from Game of Thrones. His honor, his strict adherence to the law, his refusal to play the chaotic political game. It didn't save him. In fact, it was the very thing that severed his head from his shoulders. Lawful good characters believe the rules will protect them, but in a corrupt world, the rules are precisely what the villains use to break them. Moving to the center of the light, we find Category 2, neutral good. The benefactors, the pure hearts. Exhibit B, Spider-Man, or Luke Skywalker. They do not care about upholding the law for the sake of the law. They are not tied to tradition or strict military codes. They simply want to do the right thing. If the rules of society help them save a life, they will gladly follow them. But if a law demands they look the other way while someone suffers, they will shatter that law without a second of hesitation. They are the truest definition of a hero. They are guided by an internal moral compass that always points toward compassion, regardless of what the legal map says. They are the ones who will save the villain from falling off the building, even if the law demands an execution. But what happens when you strip away the respect for rules entirely? You get Category 3, chaotic good, the rebels, the revolutionaries. Look at Robin Hood. Look at V from V for Vendetta, or Arthur Morgan in his final redemptive days. By all legal metrics of the worlds they inhabit, they are criminals, They are terrorists. They steal, they destroy property, they violently oppose the established government. But their hearts are pure. They recognize a fundamental truth. When the law itself is deeply corrupt, when the system is designed to crush the poor and empower the wicked, then the only moral choice left is chaos. They fight for the people, not the crown. They are the fire that burns down the rotting forest so new life can grow. Society fears them, but society desperately needs them. Now we step out of the blinding light and into the shadows, the gray area, the neutrals, where things get complicated. Category 4, lawful neutral, the blind scales, the judges. Exhibit C, Inspector Javert from Les Miserables, or Judge Dredd. To these individuals, the law is not a tool for doing good. The law is an absolute mathematical equation completely devoid of human emotion. There is no mercy. There is no cruelty. There is only the code. To a lawful neutral character, it does not matter if you are a starving father stealing a loaf of bread to feed your dying child, or if you are a cold-blooded assassin. The context is irrelevant. If you break the code, the equation demands you must be punished. They aren't evil. They genuinely believe order is the only thing keeping humanity from devolving into animals. But their total lack of empathy makes them terrifying, unrelenting instruments of the state. You cannot reason with a machine. Then we reach the dead center of the entire matrix. Category 5, true neutral, the observers. These are the hardest characters to write, and perhaps the most alien to understand. Look at the Oracle from The Matrix, Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, or the Ents from Lord of the Rings before the forest was burned. They do not fight for the humans. They do not fight for the machines. They don't care about good, and they don't care about evil. They simply exist to balance the cosmic equation. They are the universe observing itself, completely detached from the trivial, fleeting morality of mortals. A true neutral character will watch a city burn or a city flourish with the exact same expression on their face. They act only when the fundamental balance of existence is threatened. They are not characters, they are forces of nature. But drop down one square on the grid and you find the wild cards. Category 6, chaotic neutral, the free spirits, the rogues. Look at Captain Jack Sparrow, look at Catwoman, or Han Solo before he joined the rebellion. A chaotic neutral character navigates the world with a personal compass that points only to what they want in that exact, fleeting moment. They don't care about saving the city, and they don't care about blowing it up. They just want to walk their own path, entirely unbound by society's expectations, laws, or moral grandstanding. They are loyal only to their own immediate desires, their own survival, and perhaps their own amusement. This makes them incredibly charming to watch, but they are the most unpredictable pieces on the chessboard. You never know if they are going to stab you in the back or buy you a drink. Category 7, lawful evil, the tyrants, the architects of doom. Exhibit D, Darth Vader, Tywin Lannister, the MCU's Thanos. These villains are horrifying because they don't want to destroy the universe. They want to own it. They want to fix it according to their own twisted, narcissistic vision. Thanos genuinely believed he was the savior of a dying cosmos. Tywin believed he was securing a legacy of peace through absolute brutality. Lawful evil characters use laws, armies, strict hierarchies, and warped philosophical manifestos to crush the weak. They despise chaos because chaos cannot be controlled. Their evil is terrifying because it is perfectly organized. It has paperwork. It has uniforms. It has a rationale. They will commit genocide and call it maintaining order. In the center of the darkness lies Category 8, neutral evil, the Parasites. Pure, unadulterated selfishness. Look at Lord Voldemort. Look at Peter Baelish, Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, or corporate mercenaries in a cyberpunk dystopia. They have no code. They have no grand vision for a new world order. They have no loyalty to any system or any empire, unless they are sitting comfortably at the very top of it. They will use anyone, betray anyone, and destroy anything simply to ensure their own survival, wealth, and dominance. Other people aren't even considered enemies to them. They are just stepping stones, expendable resources. Littlefinger summarized the neutral evil philosophy perfectly. Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. And they will step on the necks of the innocent and the guilty alike to climb it. Finally, we reach the edge of the map, the bottom right corner, the abyss staring back into your soul. Category 9, Chaotic Evil, the Agents of Entropy, the Joker, Carnage, the Xenomorph. They don't want money. They don't want a throne. They don't have a tragic, grand master plan to fix the world through authoritarian force. They don't care about ruling the ashes. They are rabid dogs chasing cars. They are the embodiment of destruction for the absolute sake of destruction. To the Joker, humanity is a sick, hypocritical joke, and extreme violence is the only valid punchline. The scariest thing about chaotic evil is that you cannot negotiate with it. You cannot predict it. You cannot bribe it with power or wealth. They do not feel pity or remorse or fear. They just want to watch the world burn, and they want to dance in the flames while it happens. So, what is the final verdict of this extensive investigation? Why does this matrix matter to you as a viewer, as a gamer, or as a writer? Because the greatest stories ever told aren't just good versus evil. That is too simple. That is a bedtime story for children. True, compelling drama comes from the diagonal intersections of this board. It is the ideological war between Batman, a character desperately clinging to his lawful neutral/good code, and the Joker, the unstoppable force of chaotic evil. It's the tragic realization that a lawful neutral judge can cause just as much pain and suffering as a chaotic evil monster, simply by blindly following the rules. It is the brilliant conflict of X-Men, where Professor X and Magneto both want to save mutant kind, but one refuses to break the laws of morality, while the other believes survival demands a lawful evil conquest. We are all on this board somewhere. Every choice you make, every rule you strictly follow, and every rule you dare to break pushes your pin into one of these 9 boxes. The geometry of your soul is constantly shifting based on your actions. So, look closely at the grid one last time. Where do you sit right now? And more importantly, if push came to shove, where do you truly belong? Leave your psychological profile and your character alignments in the comments below. Let's see who we are sharing this community with. If you want me to declassify more secrets of character psychology, storytelling mechanics, and the hidden lore of the universes we love, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join the agency. Case closed, for now.